My name is Valentin.
And I'm Bobby. Thanks so much for joining our presentation. We're just going to tell you a little bit about what we learned from the process of developing a massively multiplayer online video game that teaches programming on the Roblox platform called CodeCombat Worlds.
My name is Valentin Briukhanov. I'm working 10 years for making educational games as a game designer, game developer. I participated in projects like Check.io, Empire of Code, CodeCombat, of course, Azaria, and we can tell more about that. So let me introduce to Bobby.
Hi, I'm Bobby Lockhart. I'm based in Chicago. I've been a game developer for about 13 years, and 10 of those working on games that teach programming, starting with a Kickstarter game called Codemancer, and then doing various other learning games projects before I found a home here at CodeCombat, where I've also worked on a little bit on CodeCombat and a lot on Azaria.
And a year ago, we started working on our new product, CodeCombat Worlds, our multiplayer coding educational games on the Roblox platform, in the Roblox Metaverse, where everyone with Roblox account can join and learn.
Yeah, there's CodeCombat Worlds has 3 pillars to the experience, we call them. There are 3 main structural elements of the gameplay. There's an overworld, which you can think of a lot like a traditional RPG, like World of Warcraft or EVE Online or something, where you're exploring the world, finding missions, accomplishing those missions, getting pets, leveling up your pets, etc. But the way that most things are accomplished is through your pets, and the only way those pets can do anything is if you programmed them to do it. Then there's learning levels, which we also call training areas.
Yeah, so for learning levels, it's a way how we want to bring our game in classroom, because teachers want to have like some more linear experience, more predictable experience, not students running around and losing somewhere. Plus, we need some way how we scaffold our students, like give them really great, easy, understandable playground. So it's a pillar which make education side stronger, and at the same time teach them how to play in overworld, how to make it really effective. So this way, we also then slowly move to our creative mode. So to the learning level, we prepare them to create. And very important thing in our game, it's creative mode. Bobby, I remember you did a lot about design for this mode, so can tell about that.
Sure. So just like Roblox gives you tools to build experiences which you can then publish on their platform, within our game, we're giving you even easier tools to create experiences which you can then publish within our game, and even perhaps export out to the wider Roblox community if you wish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's moving back maybe a little, like, so now we moving to the main topic of this presentation. So let's quickly get back for learning level again. Like, so learning levels, it's not just like we want to make it classroom. Like, the main point of our game, so it make it available for everyone. So you don't need to be in school. You just like maybe checking last games in Roblox and find and start playing. You know nothing about programming. So here our training area, learning levels come into play, because we not just like education concept focused that. Like, we explain about game mechanics, UI, like how to play, how to use successful strategy for your heroes, pet, avatars, like, and this way. And of course, slowly with this one, we just like, okay, this like basic algorithm, basic syntax, and higher level concept like loops, conditionals, and so on.
Just to quickly add to your point, I think that the sort of philosophy of the learning levels really points towards our general approach to learning games, which is that teaching in a video game should basically be the same as tutorializing in any game. Every game teaches you how to play it. So as long as you've made the gameplay perfectly aligned to the learning goals that you're trying to achieve, then teaching those learning goals is the same as teaching how to play the game. And so we can use all the same techniques as any video game uses to teach the players how to play.
Agree.
So,
and there is starting a tricky point. So like with creative mode, learning levels, with when we share it about experience, like we know what to do. Like we made hundreds learning level CodeCombat and Azaria. We know how to make creative courses for students through the programming, game dev courses, and so on. Like, but before it always was for us a single player game. So, and in Overworld, our one main pillar of the game, we stepped on the new territory for us, like so multiplayer. And in Roblox, it's not just like something what you can to try, like it's something you cannot to avoid. So you have to make your game multiplayer, and then we saw it like as a challenge, but it's not a challenge. It's opportunity in pure form. So now we don't need maybe teach students, like students teach each other, like we collaborate in the world, we communicate, see how other players running around, like we can see what their pets, heroes can do, like strategy, how we're doing, like, and maybe even share their code and opportunity. So that's we starting how to foster a collaborative environment, probably.
And that's very much in the spirit of authenticity, as because as programmers, professional programmers ourselves, we know that we work in teams, we work together, we help each other out. That's the reality. Nobody writes code in a vacuum. Okay, maybe some people do. But most of us have to go to Stack Exchange and consult one another and talk to our colleagues. So it's very much an authentic learning experience, more than the single player games were.
Yeah. It's how you're going to a playground as a kid and just like, oh, what that kid can do, like I can learn, because it's a good way to learn. At least it's something possible. In our case, it's exactly like that. And here we're starting another, so there is like some probably dark side, like so community not always positive, like, and you as a junior, like you got in the new like team and nobody wants to help you. So it's very important to make this environment positive, so to make it friendly, and we use it different techniques for that. So
yeah, online gaming environments are notorious for toxicity. If they're known for anything, it's just like, what a horrible place to be, especially if you're not a white male, for example. So to make a multiplayer environment that makes sense to encourage children to spend time in, we've had to do a lot of thinking and a lot of careful design around that. So it starts with just the tone of the game. So a lot of games have a theme and a tone that invites, let's say, hyper competitiveness to be generous.
In our case, like we wanted, like, so it's friendly, it's nothing, because we already educational games. Kids are afraid of learning everything about school, so you need
there's a definite fear of failure that we need to overcome.
Yes, failure is the main point, and it gave us something like what we should avoid. So starting from NPC who are positive, encouraging you, just like, hey, try this one, it's easy, everything simple, just like try, we give you a hint. So another thing what we had like long dispute about, like PvP, and probably we're going to have it, but no something like surprise PvP. When you're playing a game, like collect resources and like boom, like you are dead just because somebody that one, and it gives so many problems for griefing and just like ruining everyone gameplay. So maybe it's okay for adults. For kids, it's not. And as game designers, we had some disputes about like, oh, okay, how about resources? Like, so everything like some competitive, and they're like, why not? It's just our resources. Like, we can put like a lot of them around, like just because the main point those resources, it's not competition. It's just a way how you start building our creative mode and so on. So yeah, it's should be a little maybe not a challenge, but you need to put efforts, of course. So not for free, but in the same time, not you need to fight for this like type of wood or something. Like,
there's challenge, but the challenge is not based on scarcity. So it's not a zero-sum game. You can all get the resources you need.
For some players, still maybe multiplayer teaching from each other positivity. As many kids, we need own space. So like, okay, I maybe not so good. Maybe like I want to test my code. Nobody see. And here our learning levels come and helps because it's not only scaffolding, tutorial, educational path. It's exactly kind of like single player experience if you want.
Some students are okay with failing out loud, but this allows them to go at their own pace. They can experiment in the overworld if they're very confident, but if they're not, they can build confidence in the learning levels.
We don't need to give a challenge for most of the students. We need to give them confidence. We can't code, persuade them, because that's the main problem usually to teach. It's not because like teaching programming is really hard and complicated. No, most of the people just don't believe themselves. And it's very important, especially like maybe in our work, people won't share their code easily because it's something like, oh, it's my own strategy. But when we're talking about like creative mode, it's exactly what people happy to share. Like we want to show like what I've done and discuss and get feedback. It's the greatest place where students can creation. It can be different way. You can be creative as designer about like placing cool stuff everywhere, correct place, how it looks, or about more coding heavy and programs, something what's happening around like. And anyway, like plus you not only share, people can borrow, use your experience and build their own with credits, of course, like so nobody would be forgotten. So this way, like we can better build idea for like open source, everything about that. So again, positivity. So sharing is
back
good.
to positivity. We want to bias people giving feedback positively. People, if you don't have something nice to say, we try and make it hard for you to say anything at all. And a thing that's not a feature of our adult online spaces.
Yep.
When you're putting something creative out into the world, you make yourself vulnerable to criticism, and we want to honor that that bravery. So
exactly. And talking about the devil, like so that's the serious problem. So like problem with, as we already mentioned, with any gaming community, online community. So we got a lot of these like challenges, like so how to build a like community, how to, so we getting in Roblox Metaverse. So and not everybody friendly here. Like we need to think not only about kids. We need to think about kids, parents, teachers, everyone around. Like so, we don't have like one challenge. We have like so many layers here.
And also a gradation from like their safety all the way down to their feelings.
Yeah. So multiplayer brought us a lot of good things, but and brought us like challenges, like
some
so
headaches. Yeah.
But we don't give up and trying to solve them. Like so. Oh yeah, that's maybe let's start me from this one. So Roblox platform, Like Roblox doing a lot about taking care of your safety, everything about. They have like huge team of moderation. So when we talk with them, like it's you have no idea how much we're doing that about. Like so, we take care of payment processing. So now, like we have a big team of support. Like so, it prevent from scamming. Like, and I mentioned moderation. So there's a huge team where I think you talked with them a lot, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, there's this whole Swiss cheese philosophy of moderation that like each layer is not going to be 100% effective. There's no way. If somebody is very determined to be abusive to someone else in an online experience, there's a lot of creative ways to do it. But the idea is at each layer we're cutting off another avenue. So like, for example, word filtering is a simple one of just like, so the people who are doing the lowest effort type of online abuse, they're cut off immediately, right?
And personal data.
Personal data is detected and also blanked out in any text space. So that's not just chat, but it's also like any text that's rendered anywhere on the platform, basically.
So, point about teachers, schools, personal data, like how to work with school, like, and here we are on our horse. Like, we have like again like 10 years experience to working with schools. Like, we have constantly have like audits for data because like every school what we have like a contract every so we require like okay this form for audio like this form like where you save your data like how you save your data so kind of like when we're talking with teachers we are good.
In creative mode we're allowing players to create any arbitrary experience, so you can imagine that poses several huge risks about moderation. So we're structuring the submission of these things. There are two layers of curation.
You will hear a lot about AI work. So promise only once. Okay, maybe not only once. So exactly about you. We already tested and started to use this idea to use some AI to recognize problems in creation. So like, yeah, we can. So probably you saw in the game, like, okay, I don't need text. I can use my paint and draw curse word on the wall. We can detect it. Like so, even if you build curse word with some blocks, we mostly can try to detect it. Like, of course, it's not powerful so much. Like, and there is always way, but
it's a layer of the Swiss cheese, so it blocks a bunch of people doing sort of crimes of opportunity. And then also we mentioned how concerned kids are with getting the credit for their work, as I would be, as I am. So we have a system of auto attribution, and this is something that kind of came to our attention because of the Scratch community.
We want to randomize API skills for this like programming what we have. So everyone experience in the game in our world would be unique. Like so you get your path, like so you have choice. You like I get one skill, you get another one, so it's like you can try many. So we can have so many. It's like RPG build.
Just like in any video game, if I have a character that is based on doing damage and you have a character based on doing magic, I can't copy your strategy for how to win the game because it won't apply to me. And we're doing the same thing with the API methods in our for our pets.
We are not going to stop on those techniques what we mentioned here. Like this huge space, how you can make it better. Like it's just we just like touch the ground of that one, and we here are learning too. We don't have too much experience with multiplayer learning game. It's not because we're anybody. There's not if somebody knows more multiplayer education games, like I would be happy to play them. Like I love education. Yeah. So yeah, we're exploring new space which is natural for our kids. Like so, our kids already native for this like metaverse thing, Roblox platform. For them, it's natural to jump between another one, and for them,
we've learned so much in play testing because again, like our target demographic are really Roblox natives, and we are not. We are new immigrants to this this affinity space, and we're really excited to engage in this discussion with you all at the Connected Learning Summit. So yeah, let's talk more about it. Yeah, please come to our session and engage in us in discussion. There's a big chance that we'll learn a lot from you, and we hope that you'll learn from us too.
Thanks. See you on Connected Learning Summit.